As of making this video, I have around 40 hours of gameplay on Delta Force. I really wanted to take my time, get familiar with the maps, the different modes, some of which I still haven't played. Extraction, I haven't used sniper rifles or shotguns or LMGs. I'm more of an AR SMG kind of player, so keep that in mind. I'm like super aggressive. I had to really adjust to the pace of the game in general, slow down compared to playing like Call of Duty or X Defiant or more arcade shooters. This is definitely more of a slower paced game. It's more based around positioning. I would say that it's not very hard to like take other players out. The guns don't have a ton of recoil, but it's very easy to die because there's so many angles that you can get taken out from. There's been a ton of controversy on Steam because of the kernel level anti-cheat, but honestly, if you play Warzone, if you play Battlefield, if you play Valorant, and many different other games, you're literally going to have a kernel level anti-cheat. People are worried about like data getting taken, data being farmed from their computer. Honestly, if you're really concerned about that, I would look up a list of all the games that have kernel level anti-cheats, and those companies maybe have somewhere in their terms of service that they're actually, getting some type of marketing data out of you. I wouldn't be surprised if Activision Blizzard's doing that to all of their Warzone players. Keep in mind, this is not very different to a lot of the terms that you're basically signing off when you're making Facebook and putting information on there, when you're making Twitter accounts, Instagram, basically any social media where you're putting stuff out there. You're now making data that can be turned around and sold to marketing companies to try to target specific ads for things that you may be into. These are just different little ways that I guess a kernel level anti-cheat could be used for data collection in addition to just being an anti-cheat for a game. I think mostly it's going to be used to be able to look into people's hardware, see do they have a DMA card in there, a direct memory access card, and they're aimbotting using a cheat program on a second computer. There's many ways that a kernel level anti-cheat is going to be necessary to prevent cheating, to be able to go and look in on players that have gotten reported and scan their hardware and everything. When the game first came out, there was a bug supposedly where when you uninstall the game, the anti-cheat doesn't also uninstall, but that's since then been fixed. So recently, another hot topic has been the skill-based matchmaking within the game. And honestly, it does feel like it's in there. It really does. There's like a mode that says ranked where you check it, but really the devs have actually come out and said that it's not actually a ranked mode. It's like a merit system. It's basically like a second battle pass. It's another progression system where you can earn like some free rewards and shit. So you might as well click it because you're in the same exact lobby as the unranked. So they're saying that it's just a language localization error where it should say like points mode. It's not actually ranked. But some other people also think that that's them just basically exposing themselves, and it's actually a pretty thick SBMM going on. It does really feel like every match is pretty super sweaty, especially like when I first started playing. The game was a lot more, I could run around the map more freely. Now everybody's just holding angles and head glitches. Everybody in my lobby seems to know all the power positions and everything. The devs have come out and said that they don't have a strict skill-based matchmaking that's meant to make the game 50-50 lose and win. But they said basically there's two brackets. There's new players and everybody else, but they didn't really specify. They were really ambiguous on the term new players. Does that mean like lesser skilled players? Or does that mean people who have only played a couple matches? Because new players could be like, what if that means 80% of the players are considered new players and then the top 20 are just in their own lobbies and can never match against that other 80%. Something like that could actually really explain what is going on, especially when the response is so vague. I would like to know more. Another criticism that I have is I would like to see ping of my opponents on the scoreboard so that I could kind of confirm some deaths, or even shooting some opponents where it feels like the hit registration is not really on point. I'd like to see, okay, that makes sense. That guy's got 150 ping. So I haven't really played the extraction mode. I haven't tried everything. Extraction mode never really was my kind of thing. I never played Tarkov. Never really got into DMZ on Call of Duty. I was always more of like a multiplayer type of player in general. So this game's just more of like an immersive, slower paced game. The gunplay feels really arcadey, but it also feels really punishing if you're outside of cover, if you're trying to get somewhere, somebody's across the map sniping. Some of these maps, especially the one called Shafted, is really properly named because you're just running through these hallways that are constantly spammed with smoke grenades. And then you're getting hit with these hero abilities, wall hack abilities once again. I don't know what's up with FPS games having to constantly have wall hack abilities, but you got smoke grenade spam followed by wall hack abilities in these tight corridors, and people are just waiting for you to run through the smoke or even just outright shooting you through the smoke. The game has a gunsmith system that's really similar to like Modern Warfare 2 2022, but way more in depth. There's literally like 1,000 attachments for the gun, and then you can calibrate the barrel, the stock, the foregrip, all these different aspects of the gun. You can really balance it in different ways, whether you want to make it aim down sight faster, strafe slightly faster, maybe have better hip fire, less recoil. You can really make these guns beam. I really think the in-depth customization for the weapons really adds a sense of personality and just individualism for each player and everything. But there's also an argument that the guns are too easy to use and people are just constantly beaming each other from across the map. I also think there's a little bit of a balance issue with the fact that everybody just plays the medic class or the assault class basically, and then tanks and vehicles are just basically uncontested, running around just an oppressive force. Another thing about the vehicles, sometimes they can be driving straight up to you while you're maybe engaged with another enemy, or even just looking around a different direction and not seeing the mini map for that split second, and the vehicle just runs you over with essentially no audio cues. You can't even hear it approaching you. And the mini map also has a little bit of a delay to it. With the game being 32 versus 32, it's very CPU intensive due to all the different calculations going on at the same time all over a large map. I think over time, especially once it gets introduced to console, it's going to be much more well optimized. Right now, it's just in open beta state. Essentially, it's early access. It's a live service game at the end of the day. So as long as it's alive, it's going to continue to get service and continue to improve, hopefully, which is my main point of making this video, aside from just informing my viewers of my opinion on the game in general. I think overall it's really fun. I think that they're being a little bit vague on the matchmaking, and there's something a little bit more strong going on. Maybe what I was saying, like the 80-20 kind of thing, or maybe if you're in the top 10% of players, then you're getting put into this, and then everybody else is considered new players. They're not being completely upfront with it, I don't feel like. But at the end of the day, it is a free-to-play game. I could understand people having concerns about the kernel level anti-cheat and the game being from a Chinese company and possibility that the Chinese government has access to your computer. But I literally used the specific computer that I play games on just for that. And I'm not like some big government official or some shit. So, maybe I wouldn't suggest the president to have this installed on his computer, but I'm having fun with the game. Let me know what your opinions are on it and everything. Overall, I think it scratches a certain Battlefield itch. I think some people won't like some of the hero abilities and stuff, but at the end of the day, I think it's really fun, and I think it has a lot of room to grow. Hopefully the developers continue to listen to the community and can be more transparent about the matchmaking and everything. Maybe put ping on the scoreboards. I'm suspecting some of the gunfights that feel off and stuff is just a difference in ping and desync. I don't know if anybody knows the exact server locations that they have around USA, or if there's like only a couple of them, or what the case may be. That would obviously explain a lot of things, especially if we were able to see the ping numbers. That's also something that would be fixed with a server browser. But even at that, people from really far away could come into the servers with the server browser and possibly benefit one way or another from lag compensation. So let me know what you think about the game. Have you been playing? Are you not going to play it because of the anti-cheat? What are your thoughts?